Before we begin, I want to ask you something quietly. Which country are you watching this from, and what time is it for you right now? Because wherever you are in the world, and whatever hour this message reached you, it did not reach you by accident. Some of you are watching this late at night when the world is asleep and your heart is loud. Some of you are watching this in the middle of a busy day, but inside you feel far away from everything around you. So tell me where you are and what time it is for you, and as you do, hold this thought in your heart. If life feels heavy right now, this message is not for everyone, it's for you. And by the end of this video, you will understand what Allah is doing in your life, and why this season had to find you at this exact moment. Your pain is a private conversation between your soul and Allah. There are times in life when you try to explain what you feel, but the words fall apart before they leave your mouth. You sit with people who care about you, yet you still feel unseen. You hear advice, but it doesn't reach the place that hurts. In those moments, it is not because you are alone. It is because this part of your journey is not meant for human understanding. It is meant for closeness with Allah. This kind of pain is quiet. It does not shout. It does not make a scene. It sits inside your chest and follows you through the day and into the night. You carry it to work. You carry it to prayer. You carry it to bed. And sometimes you wonder why Allah would let you feel something so heavy without giving you someone who can fully understand it. But this is often how Allah brings you closer. When people cannot reach your heart, you turn to the one who always can. In this space, you start talking to Allah in a different way, not with long, perfect words, not with formal sentences, but with honest whispers, with sighs, with silent tears, with simple thoughts like, Ya Allah, I am tired, or Ya Allah, I don't know what to do anymore. And in those small, quiet moments, something changes inside you. Your faith stops being something you learned from others. It stops being something you repeat. It starts becoming something you feel. You begin to notice Allah in small things, in the calm that comes after you cry, in the strength you didn't know you had when you get up the next morning, in the way your heart feels a little lighter after you make dua, even if nothing around you has changed yet. This pain teaches you to lean instead of stand alone. It teaches you to trust instead of control. It teaches you that you don't have to understand everything to be held by Allah. Sometimes you may feel like you are breaking, like parts of you are falling apart. But often, what is really happening is that the old way you depended on the world is slowly being replaced by a deeper dependence on Allah. You stop looking for every answer in people. You stop needing every wound to be noticed. You start finding comfort in being seen by the one who knows your heart better than you know it yourself. And this is where something beautiful begins. You realize that even in your quietest pain, you are not invisible. Even in your loneliest moments, you are not forgotten. Every tear you hold back, every breath you take when you feel tired of being strong, every time you turn to Allah instead of turning away, it is all seen. This kind of pain does not make you smaller. It makes your connection deeper. And one day, you will look back at this season and understand that this was not the time Allah left you alone. This was the time He drew you closest, when no one else could reach the place inside you that only He was meant to touch. And as you stay in this quiet space with Allah, you begin to notice something gentle happening inside you. You start becoming softer in a world that tries to make people hard. You start becoming calmer in a life that pushes everyone to rush. You start becoming more aware of your own heart. You may not see it clearly yet, but this pain is teaching you how to listen, not just to the noise outside, but to the voice inside your soul. You begin to notice what drains you, what gives you peace, what pulls you closer to Allah, and what pulls you away from Him. Before this season, maybe you moved through life on habit. You prayed because it was time to pray. You spoke because it was time to speak. You lived because the day asked you to live. But now, everything feels deeper. Every emotion stays longer. Every thought feels heavier. And in that depth, you begin to meet yourself in a way you never did before. You start asking quiet questions at night. Who am I becoming? What really matters to me? Where do I feel closest to Allah? These questions do not come from comfort. They come from weight. And that weight is shaping your heart in ways ease never could. There will be days when you feel tired of carrying this unseen struggle. Days when you wish someone could just understand without you having to explain. Days when you feel like saying, "I'm not okay," but you don't know how to say it without feeling weak. But in those moments, remember this: Allah already knows. He knows the exact thought that makes your chest feel tight. He knows the memory that suddenly makes your eyes heavy. He knows the fear you don't tell anyone because you don't want to sound ungrateful or doubtful. And still, He stays close. Sometimes you will feel His closeness not as happiness, but as strength. The kind of strength that helps you stand up when you want to stay in bed. The kind of strength that helps you speak kindly when you feel empty. The kind of strength that helps you keep believing, even when your heart feels tired. This is a different kind of mercy. Not the mercy that removes the test, but the mercy that gives you the ability to walk through it. Slowly, without realizing it, you begin to change. You become more patient with others because you know what it feels like to hurt quietly. You become less quick to judge because you know everyone is carrying something you cannot see. You become more gentle because Allah has been gentle with you in your weakest moments. And one day, when someone else sits in front of you with the same tired eyes you once had, you will not rush to fix them. You will simply understand them. You will listen. You will sit with them in their silence. And in that moment, you will realize that this season shaped you into someone who can carry other people's pain with care. That is when you will see it. This was never just about your own heart. It was about the heart you were becoming. So, if tonight still feels heavy, don't fight the quiet. Don't run from the stillness. Sit with Allah for a moment, even if all you can say is His name, even if all you can do is breathe. Because in this private space, where no one else can enter, something sacred is happening inside you. You are not being left alone. You are being gently held. What is falling apart is the life that could not carry your destiny. Sometimes you wake up and feel like your life no longer fits you. The places you used to love feel small. The people you used to run to feel distant. The dreams you once held tightly feel like they belong to someone you used to be. And that feeling can be scary. You start thinking, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel like I don't belong anywhere anymore? Why does everything I knew feel like it's slipping through my hands? But listen gently. This is not always a sign that you are losing your life. Sometimes it is a sign that you are outgrowing it. There are moments when Allah allows things to fall apart, not because they were bad, but because they were too small for what your heart is becoming. You were comfortable there. You were safe there. You knew how to survive there. But comfort can quietly become a cage. You don't notice the walls at first. You only notice them when your soul starts to press against them. That pressure you feel inside, that restlessness, that feeling of there has to be more than this, it is often your soul asking for space. You may see people, plans, and opportunities leaving your life, and all you can feel is loss. You remember the laughter. You remember the good days. You remember the version of yourself that felt lighter back then, and you wonder why Allah would take something away that once made you happy. But sometimes Allah does not remove something because it was hurting you. He removes it because it cannot follow you where He is taking you. There are lives you can live that will keep you safe but keep you small. And there are lives you can live that will stretch you, challenge you, and grow you. And growth always needs space. When something falls away, it creates a gap, and that gap feels empty, it feels cold, it feels uncomfortable. You want to fill it quickly with anything familiar, anything that feels like the past. But this space is not a mistake. This space is a place Allah is preparing, a place for new strength, a place for deeper faith, a place for a version of you that thinks differently, loves differently, and trusts Allah differently. Sometimes you don't realize how much you've grown until you try to go back to who you used to be, and it no longer feels right. You try to laugh the same way. You try to care about the same things. You try to fit into the same spaces. But something inside you resists. Not because you are ungrateful, but because your heart has changed. And change can feel like loss before it feels like freedom. There will be days when you miss what you had. You will remember old conversations, old routines, old hopes. You will wish things could go back to how they were. And it is okay to feel that. It is okay to grieve what is no longer part of your life. But don't let that grief make you doubt what is being built. Because while you are looking at what is leaving, Allah is looking at what is coming. You may not see it yet. You may not feel ready for it yet. You may not even believe it yet. But something new needs room to enter your life, and the only way to make room is for something old to step aside. This season is teaching you how to walk forward without dragging your past behind you. It is teaching you how to trust Allah with empty hands, not just full ones. It is teaching you that your worth is not tied to what you had, who stayed, or how things used to be. Your worth is tied to who you are becoming. And sometimes, becoming someone new feels like losing someone old. So, if things around you are changing and you don't recognize your life anymore, take a slow breath. This may not be the end of your story. This may be the moment the page is turning. You are not being pushed away from something. You are being gently guided towards something bigger than you can see right now. And one day, when you stand in a place you never imagined, with a heart that is stronger and a faith that is deeper, you will look back at this season and understand. This was not the moment you lost your life. This was the moment your life finally made space to grow. The silence around you is training you to walk without applause. There will be a time when the noise around you slowly fades. Not all at once. Not in a dramatic way. Just little by little. Messages stop coming as often. People don't check in the way they used to. Your name is not mentioned in rooms you once felt seen in. And at first, it hurts. You start wondering if you did something wrong. If you said something that pushed people away. If you somehow became less important. But listen gently. This quiet is not always rejection. Sometimes it is redirection. There are seasons when Allah pulls the world back from you so He can step forward. When everything is loud, it is easy to move with the crowd. You follow opinions. You follow approval. You follow whatever feels accepted. But when the noise disappears, you are left with just your heart and your Lord. And that is where something real begins. In the silence, you start hearing your own thoughts more clearly. You notice what truly matters to you, not what everyone else says should matter. You start seeing the difference between what you want and what you were taught to want. You realize how often you used to move just to be seen. How often you spoke just to be noticed. How often you tried to fit into spaces that never really felt like home. And now, without the applause, you begin to move differently. You wake up and ask yourself quieter questions. What is pleasing to Allah? What brings peace to my heart? What kind of person am I becoming when no one is watching? This is a powerful place to be, even if it feels lonely. Because when you learn to walk without being clapped for, your steps become stronger. When you learn to stand without being praised, your back becomes straighter. When you learn to believe without being agreed with, your faith becomes yours. There will be days when you miss the attention, when you miss being invited, being included, being remembered. That feeling is human. It does not make you weak. It just means you cared. But don't let that longing pull you back into a version of yourself that only existed to be accepted. This quiet season is teaching you something deeper than popularity. It is teaching you sincerity. You begin to do good without telling anyone. You begin to pray without needing to be seen. You begin to grow without needing to prove it. And in that hidden place, your connection with Allah becomes private and strong. You may not feel special right now. You may not feel chosen. You may feel invisible. But there is a difference between being unseen and being protected. Some things grow better in the dark. Some strength is built away from the crowd. Some hearts become pure when they are not performing for anyone. Allah often hides His servants when He is shaping them for something meaningful, not because they are unimportant, but because what is being built in them needs care before it needs attention. In this silence, you learn how to listen for guidance instead of praise. You learn how to recognize peace instead of excitement. You learn how to follow what feels right with Allah, even if it feels strange to the world. And slowly, without even realizing it, your life becomes quieter but deeper, smaller on the outside but stronger on the inside. One day, you will step into a room again. People will notice the calm in your voice, the steadiness in your eyes, the way you no longer rush to be liked or understood. And they will not know what gave you that strength. But you will. It was built in the silence. It was shaped in the quiet. It was taught to you in the moments when no one was clapping and Allah was the only one watching. So, if your world feels quiet right now, don't rush to fill it. Don't run from the stillness. Sit in it for a moment, because in this calm space, your heart is learning how to walk with purpose instead of noise, and with Allah instead of the crowd. The delay is Allah refusing to hand you a future that would break you. There are days when you look at your life and feel like you are standing in front of a closed door. You knock with your prayers. You knock with your effort. You knock with your patience. And still, nothing opens. You watch other people move forward. You see them reach milestones, start new chapters, step into things you have been asking Allah for. And inside your heart, a quiet question grows. Why not me? Why am I still here? Why does it feel like I'm waiting while everyone else is living? This kind of waiting can feel heavier than pain. At least pain moves. Waiting feels like standing still in the middle of your own life. But listen gently. There is a difference between being stopped and being protected. Sometimes Allah does not open a door because what is waiting behind it is more than you can carry right now, not because you are weak, but because what you are asking for is strong. It has weight. It has responsibility. It has challenges you cannot see yet. So Allah does something quiet and kind. He waits with you. In this waiting, He begins to shape you in small ways you don't notice at first. He teaches you patience when you want speed. He teaches you calm when you want control. He teaches you trust when you want proof. You may feel like nothing is happening, but inside you, something is changing. You are learning how to stay kind when you feel disappointed. You are learning how to keep praying when you feel tired. You are learning how to hold hope without holding certainty. These are not small lessons. These are the kind of lessons that help you survive the blessings you are asking for, because some gifts can break a person who is not ready for them. If Allah gave you everything you wanted the moment you asked, you might walk into a future that looks beautiful on the outside, but feels overwhelming on the inside. You might lose your peace trying to keep what you prayed for. You might lose yourself trying to manage what you were given. So Allah slows the moment. He lets you grow roots before he gives you height. Think about a tree. If it grows tall too fast without strong roots, the first strong wind can knock it down. But a tree that grows slowly, that digs deep into the ground, can stand through storms. In this waiting season, Allah is helping you grow roots. Roots of faith that don't depend on outcomes. Roots of patience that don't break under pressure. Roots of trust that don't disappear when things don't go your way. There will be nights when you feel tired of hoping, when you tell yourself, maybe I should stop expecting anything, when your heart feels safer lowering its dreams than lifting them again. But even in those moments, Allah is close. He sees every time you choose to believe again after feeling disappointed. He sees every time you whisper a prayer, even when you feel unsure. He sees every time you keep walking forward, even when you don't know where the path is leading. And one day, something will shift. Not all at once. Not like a movie scene, but quietly. A door will open that you didn't even know to knock on. A path will appear that you didn't plan for, and you will step into it and realize something that will stay with you forever. If this had happened earlier, I would not have been ready. You will feel stronger in ways you can't explain, calmer in ways you didn't have before, more steady in ways that don't shake easily. And then you will understand that this waiting was not empty. It was building you. So if you are in a season where nothing seems to move, don't rush your heart into bitterness. Don't let waiting turn into doubt. Slow down. Breathe. Stay close to Allah. Because sometimes the greatest mercy is not getting what you want right away. It is becoming the kind of person who can hold it when it finally arrives. And as you stay in this place of waiting, something quiet begins to change in how you see the world. You start noticing how much of life is rushed. How people hurry from one thing to the next, barely stopping to breathe. How success is chased, compared, and measured every day. And in the middle of all that movement, you are still. At first, that stillness feels like being left behind, like standing on the side of a road while everyone else is driving past. But slowly, you begin to see something different. While others are moving fast, you are being made steady. You start becoming less reactive, less shaken by small problems, less desperate for things to go your way. You begin to respond instead of react. You begin to think instead of rush. You begin to choose instead of just follow. This is a kind of strength that only comes from waiting. In this quiet season, you may notice that your prayers change. You stop only asking for things. You start asking for peace. You start asking for clarity. You start asking to become better, not just to be given more. Your words to Allah become simpler. Ya Allah, help me trust you. Ya Allah, keep my heart steady. Ya Allah, don't let this waiting make me bitter. And those prayers shape you in ways you don't see right away. You also begin to see people differently. You realize that everyone is carrying something. Some carry success and pressure. Some carry loss and sadness. Some carry fear behind their smiles. And this understanding makes you softer, not harder. The waiting teaches you compassion. There will be moments when you feel tempted to force things, to push a door that isn't opening, to go back to something familiar just because it feels better than the unknown, to accept less than what you truly want because you are tired of standing in the middle. But this is one of the hardest parts of waiting. Learning not to settle, because waiting is not just about time, it is about trust. Trusting that Allah's not yet is protecting you from a not good for you. Trusting that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Trusting that your story is not behind schedule, even when it feels like it is. Some nights, you will sit with your thoughts and feel a quiet fear. What if nothing changes? What if this is just how my life will be? And in those moments, remember this: you do not see the full picture. You only see the part you are standing in. Allah sees where this road leads. He sees the people you will meet, the moments that will change you, the doors that will open at the right time, in the right way. You are not standing still in life. You are being guided slowly, like a river that doesn't rush but always reaches the sea. So if tonight you still feel like you are waiting, let your heart rest in this truth. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not late. You are being prepared for a moment that will make sense of this season. And when that moment comes, you won't just be grateful for what you receive. You will be grateful for who you became while you were waiting. The heaviness you carry is proof you were trusted with depth, not surface. Sometimes you look at other people's lives and wonder why theirs seems lighter. They laugh easily. They move easily. They don't seem to carry the same weight in their chest that you do. And quietly, you start thinking, why does everything feel so deep for me? Why do I feel things so strongly? Why does my heart carry so much? But listen gently. Not every soul is built to live on the surface of life. Some people are given simple days and simple worries, and that is a mercy for them. But some hearts are given depth. They feel more, they think more, they reflect more. They notice things others pass by without seeing. And that can feel heavy. You notice the sadness behind someone's smile. You feel the meaning in a quiet moment. You sense when something is off, even if no one says it out loud. This kind of heart does not live fast, it lives deep. And sometimes that depth feels like a burden. You carry memories longer. You carry words longer. You carry moments longer. A small comment can stay with you for days. A small kindness can stay with you for years. Your heart doesn't just pass through life, it holds it. There will be times when you wish you could be lighter, when you wish you didn't care so much, when you wish things didn't touch you so deeply. But this depth is not a mistake. It is a trust. Allah knows what kind of soul you have. He knows how much your heart can hold, and He allowed you to walk a path that is heavier because He knows you can carry meaning, not just moments. This is why your life feels layered, why your pain feels complex, why your joy, when it comes, feels full and real. You are not meant to live a shallow story. You are meant to live one that teaches, heals, and reaches others. Sometimes, you don't even realize how much your presence affects people, how your listening calms someone, how your understanding makes someone feel safe, how your words, spoken softly, stay with someone long after the conversation ends. This comes from the weight you carry. Because you know what it feels like to hurt quietly, you treat others gently. Because you know what it feels like to be misunderstood, you try to understand. Because you know what it feels like to feel lost, you try to be kind. These are not small qualities. They are signs of a heart that has been shaped through depth, not ease. There will be moments when this path feels lonely, when you feel like no one really sees how much you carry inside, when you feel different, separate, like you don't fully fit in the world around you. But sometimes, not fitting in is not a failure. It is a sign that you were made for something more than blending in. You were made to feel. You were made to notice. You were made to care. And in a world that often rushes past pain, that forgets to slow down, that avoids depth because it feels uncomfortable, your kind of heart is rare. Allah did not give you this capacity by accident. He gave it to you because He trusts you with it. He trusts you to carry stories that matter. He trusts you to sit with people who are hurting. He trusts you to find meaning where others only see moments. And even when this weight feels like too much, even when you feel tired of being the one who feels deeply, remember this. The same heart that feels pain deeply is the heart that can love deeply. The same soul that carries heaviness is the soul that can carry healing. The same depth that makes you tired is the depth that makes you powerful in quiet ways. So, if tonight you feel the weight of your own heart, don't ask why you are like this. Thank Allah for trusting you with a soul that can hold more than most. Because one day, you will see how this depth became a light for someone else who didn't know how to carry their own. This season will become someone else's proof that Allah does not abandon. There may come a time when you look back at this season of your life and barely recognize the person you were while walking through it. Not because the pain disappeared, not because everything suddenly became perfect, but because you became someone else inside it. Right now, you may feel like you are just trying to survive the day. You wake up, you go through the motions, you hold yourself together in front of people, and then you fall apart quietly when you are alone. You don't think of this as something meaningful. You think of it as something you just have to get through. But Allah often writes the most powerful parts of your story in the chapters you don't want to reread. There are nights when you sit in silence, staring at the ceiling, feeling like no one in the world could truly understand what you are carrying. You don't post about it. You don't talk about it. You don't even know how to explain it. You just hold it inside and keep moving. And in those moments, you may feel invisible. But you are not. Every quiet tear, every deep breath you take instead of giving up, every time you choose to be kind when you feel empty, all of it is shaping something in you that you cannot see yet. You are being shaped into someone who knows how to sit with pain without running from it. Someone who knows how to listen without trying to fix everything. Someone who knows how to stay when things get uncomfortable instead of walking away. These are rare qualities, and they are not learned in comfort. One day, someone will cross your path who feels exactly the way you feel right now. They will be tired in a way that doesn't show on their face. They will be quiet in a way that doesn't ask for attention. They will be carrying a weight they don't know how to put down. And when they sit with you, something will feel different to them. They will feel seen without being questioned. They will feel understood without being explained. They will feel safe without being judged. Not because you have perfect words, but because your heart knows the road they are walking. You will know when to stay silent. You will know when to listen. You will know when to say something simple like, "I understand," and mean it in a way that reaches them. And in that moment, you will realize something quietly powerful. This season was not only shaping you for yourself, it was shaping you for others. Allah often allows His servants to walk through darkness so they can recognize light in someone else's life. He allows you to feel lost so you can recognize what it looks like in another person. He allows you to carry pain so you can recognize it when it hides behind someone else's smile. You may not see it now, but your survival is becoming someone else's hope. Your patience is becoming someone else's comfort. Your calm is becoming someone else's proof that it is possible to keep going. There will be a day when someone tells you, "I don't know how, but you made this easier for me." And you will think back to these nights, these tears, these heavy moments, and you will understand. This is where it began, not on a stage, not in a moment of success, but in a quiet season where you learned how to stay gentle in a hard world. So, if tonight you feel like you are just getting through, don't underestimate what is happening inside you. You are becoming someone who can carry more than their own heart. You are becoming someone who can sit with someone else's pain without turning away. You are becoming someone whose presence feels like relief. And that is not a small role. That is a trust. Allah does not give that kind of heart to everyone. Now, let this moment rest. You don't need to understand everything tonight. You don't need to fix your whole life before you sleep. You don't need to carry every question in your heart at once. Just carry this. You are held even in what you don't understand yet. When you close this video, return gently to your life, to your room, to your breath, to your next small step. And if this night still feels heavy, place it in Allah's hands instead of your own. He can carry what you were never meant to carry alone. May your heart find ease. May your path find light. And may you wake up one day and realize this was the season that quietly made you stronger.